disaster because of the gerrymandered congressional
Yeah,
district.
that's
So
right.
are we going to see Clinton versus Bush again?
I'm not
Probably.
convinced that Bush is going to get there. I'm not convinced he has the ability to do.
You see, there's an example. I mean, he is and I quote, a centrist Republican, isn't
Well,
he?
he's sane. I mean, they don't want sanity in their
No,
party.
well,
I mean, look at who's already the people. Huckabee came out the other day, left his show to look at and he's leading in Iowa right now with 14% of the vote. Mike Huckabee, right? Yes, he was the governor of Arkansas, but he's a completely Looney Tunes evangelical Christian minister who has just, I mean, some of the things he has said over the last 5 years would just absolutely curl your hair.
he's never going to come back, is he? Never in a million years.
He's
surely.
going to run. I mean, Scott Walker announced that he's putting an exploratory team together. Christie's probably going to run. You know, Christie bullying people. He can't even get a high five from the owner of the Dallas Cowboys when his team wins. I mean, it's just since we are talking about the election. I mean, Bush is under the microscope right now. He resigned all boards he was on last week. BuzzFeed, though, found a very anti-gay series of statements and article in 1994 attributed to him. I mean,
I didn't know that.
it's going to be an absolute clusterfuck of a primary season. I mean, this is how I wrote 4 books during the 2012 election, 4 ebooks, because of these lunatics. I called them, 4 years ago, I called them the 7 dwarfs in the book I wrote called Lipstick on This Pig.
But are they not simply responding to the kind of electoral system and the primary system that America has? So they have to appeal to this, particular kind of base, and which requires them to say all this nutty stuff.
And then they move over to the
and then they
centre
have
of
to
the
try
actual
to move over to the centre. But obviously that makes it then, if once they've said all of that stuff, it's very difficult for them to kind of erase all of that when it comes to the general public.
Yeah, how did that work for Mitt Romney?
Yeah, it didn't, of course. 47%, that just killed him dead.
And some would argue that indeed he should have been because of the way in which he, behaved throughout that entire campaign. I mean, I look at this electoral feeding frenzy. I mean, they've tried to do everything in their power to get these people under control. I mean, Reince Priebus is the head of the Republican National Committee. He's trying to limit the number of debates because, once we have the field set by, say, mid to end February, they're going to be every week on a televised debate saying stupid things. And even Priebus and the people in the Republican Party know that this is what killed the party in 2012. It's what, what's his name? Harry Reid, he should have been kicked out back in 2010, but the Tea Party put up this crazy lady in Arizona. I mean, you've got the witch in Delaware. I am not a witch. I mean, so the party is very, very fragile right now.
But it's almost as though it's a sort of, a suicide. They're on suicide watch, really. I mean, they talk about the 1983 general election in Britain, the longest suicide note by Labour in history. I mean, we're seeing it in America now, big time, with the Republicans.
And their policies are also narrowing their electoral base. Their policies seem to be attacking any kind of minority group whatsoever, whether it's the gay community, whether it's black community, whether it's Hispanics. All their policies are, kind of marginalise these minority groups, and they make no apology for it. So and then they have to do that process of gerrymandering that you're talking about. So it's just that the system seems to get worse and worse.
Yeah, and I don't know what the solution is going to be, if there is a solution, but it is all crazy.